Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10 and support the channel at the same time. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to this special edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. And it's been a week, believe it or not, since Masters 25 was released. It feels like it's been like 8 months, but it's only been 7 days from the time we're recording this video. So we're going to check in on the values of the cards, see what's hot right now, see what's cold right now, just so you can keep tabs and decide if it's time for you to pull the trigger on some of these single purchases. Now, with that being said, just a really fast reminder, if you check out the description below, you'll find a few ways to help support what we do here at the channel. You'll find our Patreon page. You're also going to find some links to products on Amazon. Anything you purchase on Amazon, once you go through that initial link, we'll get a small percentage for the channel. And finally, Flipside Gaming, still offering the promo code for our viewers. Hopefully you can save some cash there while you support the channel. And as always, thank you not only to the folks that look at those links, but to all the viewers. You all make the channel what it is. And with that being said, let's get into it. We're going to start off with the top 10 Masters 25 cards that have lost value this week. And as you can imagine, you're going to see a lot of cards here that were maybe overdue for a reprint. And some of these are still moving down in a nice clip. Number 10, Daren, King of Jeldor. Originally from good old Cold Snap, down 61 cents to 196. So yeah, this card doesn't see a lot of constructed competitive play or anything like that, but it's a cool casual card for Commander, for some cubes, but it has a nice tick down this week. Number 9, Pact of Negation, down 70 cents to 13.55. Now this is a card that does see play in Modern Constructed, and you usually find it, at least right now, in ad nauseum decks. That's probably where it's most prevalent, although it will show up in some other places as well. Now, the card itself, I think, when you look at percentage of play and the fact that it's been a while since it was reprinted, probably really needed a reprint, I do think this goes down a little more before it stabilizes. As a matter of fact, all the cards we're looking at today, because a lot of the sellers are nervous about this product and its poor reception, I wouldn't be shocked if you find these are $10, $12 if you shop around. Number 8, Azusa Lost But Seeking, down 76 cents to 17.33. Now, this card has been dropping pretty dramatically, and it continues this week. The only reason it's probably not dropping even faster is due to the fact that they got the Judge promo art on here, which actually looks pretty sweet. But aside from that, it does see modern play. It's just percentage-wise, not huge amounts. You will find this, however, in Amulet Titan, and you'll also find it in a few of the Collected Company builds. So it definitely sees play out there, but 1733 still feels a little high for this card. Number 7, Miko Koro, Center of the Sea, down 82 cents to 3.99. Now this card does see a little bit of modern play in Taking Turns decks, sometimes it's like a one of. However, this is really more known as a commander card for like Pillow Fort style decks. And it has a nice tick down this week. This is a good opportunity, maybe not this week, I'd wait a few more weeks because I do think this will go down more. But this is a good opportunity for some commander players that were maybe waiting to pick up a copy of this one. Number 6, Rugged Prairie, down 88 cents to 9.35. The first of 2 filter lands you'll see on the list today, and all of them are trending down. Now, you will find filter lands in modern decks here and there. It definitely does happen. As a matter of fact, you could find this one sometimes in Boros builds. It's not uncommon to see maybe 1 or 2 of. However, these are really more casual lands, especially for Commander. They're actually pretty good there. So, why were they so high in price to begin with? Simply, it was scarcity. The enemy color ones that were reprinted in this set were all originally from Eventide. Eventide had a notoriously low print run for the modern era of Magic because there was a downturn in gameplay during that time. So it was really more about scarcity than anything else. Number 5, Summoner's Pact, down 94 cents to 8.33. Another card that does see a little bit of modern play. You'll find it in, for example, Titan Shift decks, among other places. But again, percentage of play doesn't necessarily warrant the $8.33 price tag at this point, I don't think. I would expect this to go down some more. Number 4, Twilight Mire, another filter land, down $1.30 to 12.20. And again, this one sometimes will show up in Jund decks. Just depends on the build and just depends on the preference and what you're trying to do with your mana base. But for the most part, again, this is really for Commander, other casual formats, or maybe even cubes. But it does take a nice tick down this week. Number 3, Rashad Import, down $2.08 to $35. Another card that had a high price point due to rarity, but this does see legacy play in a number of decks. So the two most important ones, though, for its price point are the Lands deck and maybe most importantly, Death and Taxes. Here's the deal with this card. It will go down a little more. However, I don't expect this to bottom out. I don't think you're going to see this card down to the $15-$20 range or anything like that. What's going to happen is, because this is a lot cheaper now, I do think this will encourage some players to maybe buy into Death and Taxes and Legacy. If there are maybe existing Legacy players that want to do something different, or maybe even some players that want to try out Legacy for the first time. It's not a cheap deck to buy into, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to buying into a competitive Legacy deck, it's just about as good as it's going to get. So people that are looking to do that, they will gravitate towards this card. Number 2, Jace the Mind Sculptor, down $2.11 to $100. Wow, Jace is still expensive. So yes, it does trend down a little bit since it was released. I don't see this card going down that much lower, though. It would probably go down a little more, but the problem right now is the other Jaces are just so far ahead of it. And even though this is a good deal if you're looking for a Jace, it's still very expensive. I mean, a playset would be like $400, which is crazy. Now, that being said, again, shop around a little bit. I have seen these going for closer to $90 because, again, a lot of the sellers are concerned about this product and just trying to work through it as fast as possible. So you might find a deal there. But all that being considered, Jace is still doing really well in Modern, as was expected. And I do think you're still going to see a lot of people who are maybe waiting for the cards to come down in price a little bit to start jumping on some of these $90, $100 price points. And that's going to stabilize the card very quickly when it comes to its market value. And as a matter of fact, even though the other Jaces were trending down over the last couple of weeks, this week they kind of had a bounce back week. World Wake went up a couple more dollars. Number 1, Imperial Recruiter, down $436 to $54.99. Now, this is another card that, again, was high because of scarcity. Originally from Portal 3 Kingdoms, very hard to find card, even though it was an uncommon there. But even more difficult to find in English language versions. It did get a Judge promo, but those aren't the easiest things to find either. So this was an expensive card. Now, it doesn't see tons of play. It does see play in Legacy Aloran decks, although Sultai versions of that deck seem a little more popular now. Now, this is not dropping as fast as a lot of people anticipated that it would, because I do think it's a very iconic card, and I do think a lot of casual players just want copies of it for their collection at this point. And this card actually probably would have been even more stable and kept a higher price point if the Painter Grindstone decks were still a thing in Legacy. They kind of got pushed out of the meta, but that was a very popular deck back in the day, and I do see a lot of casual decks pop up around some of those mechanics now. So I think that's what's going on with this card. It does go down more, don't get me wrong. Like, don't buy it for $55. It will go down. But I don't know if it gets as low as some people were estimating. Perhaps it gets down closer to the $40 mark. All right, let's move on to the top 10 Masters 25 cards that have gained value this week. And what you're going to see here, at least our first few cards, are not going up all that much. In some cases, they could have been any card, perhaps. But later on in the list, you'll want to pay attention, especially to our top 4. Something that's weird about this particular product is because it is not really doing well. Didn't have a very good reception. A lot of players are avoiding opening these packs, as well they should. The value is just not there. The problem is, what that does to the singles market is it means a lot of these cards are just trapped in boxes and warehouses that distributors just can't get rid of them. So you're going to see maybe less of a stabilization down than you would normally see when we go into weeks 2, week 3. Like, think back to Masters 2017. We saw cards stabilizing down for a number of weeks before they kind of hit their good price point to pull the trigger on. I don't know if that's going to happen this time. Iconic Masters didn't have a whole lot of time before they hit their low points either. That was another set that didn't do that well. So I do think you may want to pay special attention to some of the key cards because they might not go all that much lower. Number 10, Rest in Peace, up 9 cents to $3.54. This was originally from Return to Ravnica, which had a very, very high print run, perhaps the highest print run in Magic history. But what offset that a little bit was the fact that this card was incredibly sought after. In any format, really, that it was legal, it turns out to be amazing graveyard hate. So, with that being said, this going up 9 cents is at least an indicator that there's a lot of attention still on this card. And perhaps it goes down slightly, but I do think the price point, if you can find these $2, $3, even closer to $4, I think it's a good deal now. Number 9, Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, up 9 cents to $10.87. This is the other card that I was alluding to earlier, which is a part of Death and Taxes and Legacy. It's also a part of the very popular Modern Humans deck. So I think those are two factors that have this card at least stable right now. Number 8, Protean Hulk, up 12 cents to $3.50. This card isn't seeing tons of constructed competitive play. I mean, every once in a while, a Modern deck with Through the Breach will run one of these or something along those lines, but for the most part, Through the Breach is doing different things nowadays. Usually the Grishol brand decks are the ones you see and not necessarily doing anything with Brody and Hulk, but even so, I do think this is a card that, again, a lot of casual players will like to pick up and try to do some broken things with. Goes up a little bit this week. I don't really see it going up much more. It'll probably start to decline a little more even. Number 7, Master of the Wild Hunt, up 17 cents to $4.49. This is one of the mythics we opened in that amazing box we opened on the channel. Just kidding. Not about the fact that we opened this, but about the fact the box was amazing. But Master of the Wild Hunt is actually a good casual card. You'll see this a lot of times in Commander. You'll see this in Cubes. And again, it ticks up a little this week. I do think as packs continue to get open, though, this will go down. Number 6, Corsair Crew Fix, up 24 cents to $2.29. This is from Born of the Gods, another set that had a high print run, and another card that's extremely good, even though there's a lot of quantity of it out there. You can find these things probably, again, if you look around for less than $2. It's not a bad deal. It does see play in builds like Land Destruction and Bad Company, among many others. Number 5, Phyrexian Obliterator, up 55 cents to $17.57. This one surprised me a little bit. I realize it's not a huge increase, but I thought this would continue to go down a little more, and it probably will in the long run. But right now, it has a decent week, considering it doesn't see a whole lot of competitive constructed play. I did see a Legacy deck on Magic Online recently running this. It was kind of like a mono black big mana deck. It was interesting. I don't know if it'll catch on or anything like that. Other than that, though, it is a good cube card, good casual card, fun for Commander and such. So, yeah, it has a nice week. Number 4. Now, here's where you want to start paying attention. Ensnaring Bridge, up $1.08 to $34.99. So, big question right off the bat. Have we seen the bottom price already for Ensnaring Bridge? It's possible. Now, all of the cards we're about to see, these next 4, they all have a chance to basically have already seen their bottom price, which means I wouldn't necessarily say run out there today and buy them, but watch them closely over the course of the next week or two. You may want to at least think about pulling the trigger. And again, like I said, you can probably find them cheaper than the prices you're seeing here too, so continue to shop around. But the reason this card is so popular is because, of course, it was part of the Pro Tour winning Modern deck not too long ago. That was Lantern Control. It's got brand new art, which looks amazing. You also find this in some burn decks in Modern, so it gets enough play to matter, not to mention its play that it sees in other formats too, various prison decks and Legacy and such. So there's enough players out there that are going to be interested in the card, and you couple that with the fact that it's got cool new art, and it's a mythic as opposed to some of the cards we've been talking about, which are rares, which means there's going to be less quantity of these being opened. And it leads me to believe that maybe this card doesn't go down much lower than the $30, $35 price point we're seeing it at now. Number 3, Blood Moon, and this is up $1.14 to $19.77. This one I think will stabilize and maybe even go down a little bit, so don't jump the gun on this one quite yet. The reason I say that is because they have reprinted Blood Moon a lot now. It was in Modern Masters 2017 not too long ago. It's back again here. It is at rare, but it does see plenty of play in a lot of places, even if it's out of the sideboard, sometimes a 2 of, in popular decks like Hollow One, for example. So it does see a lot of play. Don't underestimate that. I don't think it goes down a whole lot lower. It'll probably stay relatively stable, though. Number 2, Vendilion Click, up $1.63 to $21.95. Now, unlike Blood Moon, it's been a little while since this one has been reprinted. This was in Modern Masters 2015. Especially with Jace being unbanned, it does lead to more people playing Control now in Modern, and it's also a good card against Planeswalkers like Jace or even Liliana because it can put pressure on them pretty early in the game. And with that flash, you can really surprise your opponent too. Not to mention the ability attached to it is actually really good too. So this is another one of those cards that, yeah, maybe it stabilizes or goes down slightly, but I don't know. At this point, $21.95 does not feel like a horrible price for the card. Number 1, Chalice of the Void, $4.71 to $58.99. What? This thing's only been out for a week. How is that possible? Well, I do think it was partially due to the fact that some of the pre-release prices maybe underestimated the need for this card in a number of environments. I mean, this is a card that sees play in Vintage, even though it's restricted there, still very good. You're going to find it in Legacy, Modern, especially in Modern, you'll find it in some of the decks that have big mana like Tron and such, trying to shut down some of the smaller plays. So it's a fantastic card that a lot of players have been waiting on for a while. They didn't want to spend $70, $85 for this card, which is what it would have cost over the last number of months now. And they knew Masters 25 was coming. They were going to wait and see if it was there. Turned out it was there. And they were going to try to pick it up. And that's what you're seeing here. So this price point is still better than it's been and better than the other versions will run, but still kind of expensive. Now, this is a nice little spike coming off week 1. I wouldn't be shocked if this goes down a little bit next week, just due to the fact that more packs will be open, but also a lot of players that may have been clamoring for this for a while, they could have picked it up on week 1 or maybe even pre-ordered it during the pre-release time. That's why you might be seeing the spike here. So if you're interested in picking this card up, my advice is just watch it closely over the next week or so. Be ready to pull the trigger, though. I don't think it goes super low or anything like that. You'll be lucky if you can find these maybe between $50 and $55. All right, with that being said, that is our look at Masters 25 after it's been out for 7 days. Only 7 days. Not 7 years, 7 months, but only 7 days. Hey, tomorrow we're going to be back with another edition of the Market Watch, our regular edition, where we look at everything else. Next week, looks like we may be getting more Dominaria previews. I will stay close to that and report those out as they come out. But until next time, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe. Have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.